Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rosie here, and I play Dead by Daylight so you don't have to. Well, lads, what's it say on our banner? Does anybody know? What's our channel banner say? Reorganize, rebuild, fucking kill them anyway, right? Well, survivors are getting a fucking bonkers perk that's about to fucking come out for the next fucking chapter. And needless to say, we talked about it for about 35 minutes yesterday, and we got some more to say. This time, we kind of have a better understanding of what the fuck we're up against. So, how are we going to do it, lads? Today's the day where we got to sit down, talk it over, talk about what the fuck we're going to do to deal with this fucking thing. Okay? The very good news, okay, the first W that we have coming into this is that survivors are underestimating the perk. A lot of survivors are calling this a meanie troll perk. And that's good for us. That is good for us. Because the fact that they don't seem to be taking this very seriously means that we have grounds to fucking potentially turn this perk into the next lucky break, which is something I have in here. We're going to potentially be able to turn a fucking great perk into a perk that never sees any usage. Which, the fact that Lucky Break doesn't see any use is absolutely incredible to me. I don't understand it. But the fact that they're underestimating this means that they're not fucking, they don't think they have a meta perk. They don't think they have one. That's inherently good for us. Okay, that is good for us. So, we're going to talk about some of the strats and then some of the things that you're going to have to do to deal with this. Rosie ain't going to leave you hanging, lads. Rosie is not going to leave you hanging. I never left you hanging before, and I'm not going to leave you hanging now. We're going to talk about this stupid thing. Well, we already talked about the stupid thing last night. So if you wanted me to go in detail on some of, like, the synergies and what the perk does and the applications for it, we mostly took care of that last night. And we mostly took care of every major thing that they're going to be doing with it last night. So, turning our attention to us now, when we're talking about Killer, what are we going to do to fucking deal with it? Okay, how are we gonna fucking deal with this shit? The very first thing that when bullshit like this comes out, the very first thing that it's important to remember about this fucking game is that accept you can't if they're good. Accept you can't. Accepting you can't win, I still think it is one of the most important things in playing this game. Accept you can't win. If you can't, over half of this game, especially as Killer, is a mental battle. If you let the unwinnable matches bother you, you're going to lose winnable matches. Losing winnable matches is what you care about. That's what you should care about or get angry. When they're fucking gen rushing you and doing stupid shit and exploiting how fucking stupid this perk and its synergies with like a flip-flop power struggle are, there's a survivor near, etc., etc. When they're fucking exploiting all this shit, like, you should be laughing because of how fucking broken the game is and how the devs won't fix it and they like the bully simulator that it is. Okay? So, don't let those unwinnable games against the fucking Swifts bother you. Okay? It has too much potential, too much anti-tunnel shit, Swift utility. It can't be handled by a majority of the roster. It just can't. It just can't. So that's the very first thing ever. And once you've accepted that you're a loser and can't win, the real counterplay against those winnable teams can begin. So accept the fact that you can't beat Swifts when they're fucking abusing this shit. Okay? Swift can do whatever Swift wants to do. If Swift wants to conserve this resource and use it while gen rushing you at the same time because you're fucking Legion, that's what they're gonna fucking do. And you can't stop them. If you're a doctor, you can't stop them. Like Nurse Blight and Spirit can fucking deal with it, but they can deal with everything. So that's the very first thing. And that is probably the most important thing right there. Because once you are over that hump, you can start the next counterplay. Okay? The second tip is be aware of your surroundings. Okay? You're not stupid. You're not a stupid fucking killer. They think you're stupid, bro. Half these people think you're fucking retarded. If you're chasing somebody and you're right up their fucking ass and they drop a fucking pallet with no if they drop dead at a pallet by themselves when they have no chance that power struggle is ready to go, that means 99% chance there is a fucking teammate nearby. Okay? That's what that means. if they're just luring you somewhere and then they drop over at a pallet, there's probably a fucking teammate nearby. So look for the teammate, and if the teammate is there, especially if you take a second and then power struggle is probably active, I think it takes like 15% of the fucking meter to trigger power struggle and flip-flop. And just pressure him. Don't even fucking bother picking the guy up. Don't bother. If flip-flop power struggle is active, don't bother picking the fucker up. Just don't get hit by it. Don't give him the fucking privilege. That's what I do. Go after the fucking guy that's right there. Accept that that's the slow game, and then force somebody else in to fucking pick the guy up if he wants to conserve his bullshit. Right? We'll talk about that later too. But just that general sense of your surroundings and just the fucking situational game awareness, sense of power struggle. Just having sense of power struggle is like half the battle here. And like what they're doing, etc. Like just the thing you don't want to happen against this shit is for you to fucking go up to the survivor that fucking downs themselves at the pallet, pick them up. They've already power struggled enough, and then they hit you with flip-flop power struggle. All three of the other goons are on fucking gens, and you're really wasting your fucking time. That's what you don't want to happen. So don't let it. That's what you don't want to let happen here. Next, keep in mind that survivors can't fit everything they want in their fucking build. This fucking perk, as we discussed yesterday, this perk has so much synergy with the game. So much synergy. So they can't fit everything that they want. And then it's just like the perks that don't rely on they are good too. So like just remember that they can't have everything. If they're gonna run a flip-flop power struggle fucking build with fucking, what's this fucking shit called? Plot twist. If they want to run flip-flop power struggle plot twist, that's 3 goddamn slots, right? That's 3 fucking slots. They're devoting 75% of their build to this crap. That means they cannot fit another exhaustion perk with a made for this, prove thyself, or any other of those stupid perks. So if they put 3 perks in, that means you're not going to get hit by prove thyself gen times. It means you're not going to have to deal with a made for this on that guy. It means you're not going to have to deal with a dead hard off the tunnel. It means you're not going to have to deal with an off the record or a decisive strike. 2 perks which are still really fucking good, right? If they're going to devote 3 slots to this crap, then they can't fit anything. They have to give stuff up. So that's something that you can keep in mind. Next, don't be afraid to challenge it, especially, this is specifically for the flip-flop power struggle variants that we're all fucking worried about, okay? Not everyone, this is another thing, because we just talked about how they only have that slots, not every fucking guy is going to fucking be using it. Seriously. Not every survivor is going to go, I'm going to devote 75% of my fucking slots every fucking time to flip-flop power struggle fucking plot twist, okay? They're not going to do that every time. What they're going to do sometimes is hope that the net benefit of that shit being in the game helps them. This is what they've done with Dead Hard and Decisive Strike for years. If you remember, like, they would just, like, survivors that they would get to, like, just fucking rely on Dead Hard's existence for you to just fucking mind game yourself, and then they end up making something. You remember this shit? You guys remember this crap? I know you do. I know you do. Like, you would think too much about the Dead Hard coming out, and then you would, and then they would fucking win that fucking micro mind game or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and then they'd be at a pallet. Like, and then Dead Hard wasn't even in their build. They just fucking used Dead Hard's net benefit of existing to fucking use it, its benefit to fucking get to a pallet. Okay? They're going to fucking be doing that with the flip-flop power struggle shit. Because as we've discussed earlier, there's so much synergy that they might just kill themselves with a teammate nearby. And again, they don't even need flip-flop power struggle. The fact that the teammate is there is enough to slow you down with the flashlight and shit. That's enough to fucking slow you down. And then if you're scared of the flip-flop power struggle, so you don't pick the guy up and they don't have it, they just got the benefit of those 2 perks that they do not have. That's what you don't want. We don't want this so normalized that flip-flop power struggle basically becomes based on survivors. So you can't be afraid to challenge this shit sometimes. Not everyone that's going to be baiting it is going to be running it. They're going to just hope you fucking respect them. So keep in mind of what the game state is. Do you have somebody dead off a tunnel already? Do you, are Or do you just have a really good flow? Are you Wesker or some shit? Are you Wesker or a higher tier character like an Oni? Maybe you have a slug across the map and you got another guy down. Maybe one guy's already burned it and one guy's trying to bait it or whatever. Like, just keep in mind the game state, gens, etc., etc. Just you know what I'm saying? Situational gaming is what pallet that you would be getting hit by if they do have it. Do not fucking, like, if it's a fucking basic fucking filler tile, you probably might not want to challenge it as much, but if they're like at a jungle gym or something, and if you fucking pick them up and you do get hit by a flip-flop power struggle, you actually burn a jungle gym tile, like, not every flip-flop power struggle is created equal. If you get hit by one at a filler tile, that's worse than getting hit by a jungle gym one, because that jungle gym pallet, that's going to get in your way anyway. If you can force that usage and burn it, you know, maybe that's all they can get to. You know, you can go ahead and hit it, you know? So, like, there, especially since if you can deny that fucking health state heal, that's very tempting to do, right? So just, again, it's situational game awareness. I can't really explain every situation to you. As you play killer and you know when you're rolling, what momentum you have, if you can afford to get hit by a pallet and lose a thing or not. Obviously, it's very frustrating to even lose one potential hook, but like, if you can afford it, don't be afraid to challenge it, because we do not want those perks to become net benefits that you just assume are there every time. I don't want that to happen. No, but you don't want a Dead by Daylight like that. So don't be afraid to challenge that fucking shit. Next, this is specifically for the other kind of variants we're worried about, the Iron Will variants, the hiding variants. Don't waste too much time looking for a slug guy. Now, if you go on the wiki, it says that like, I don't know, suppressed. They describe the blood pools and the sounds as suppressed, whatever the fuck that means. I still think they're 0 based on what I read. It's a fucking motorcycle, Jesus. We get it, buddy. Your dick is tiny, but okay. So, do not spend too much time looking for the slug guy. Move the fuck on. Move on. Maybe, like seriously. So your gen board state is probably much more fucking important than that one hook on that one guy. Especially because they're nerfing hook grabs, so hooks are even worse than they've ever been, was what that means. Hooks are worse than they've ever been, and then the anti-camp stuff is going to make them even worse. The value of a hook is going down in significance, so that means you don't want to waste, you want to waste less time fucking looking for somebody, right? What was more valuable right now, more than ever, is the board state, the state of the generators. What's happening around the map? Do you have a 3-gen? That is the most valuable thing in the game right now. And as they continue to nerf fucking hooks and slugs like this, it continues to get more and more necessary and more powerful. Like, every killer should be trying to get a 3-gen right now. That's basically what the game is like at the fucking top level. So, like, if you're looking for a slug guy, you can't find him, like, just fucking leave him. Don't give them that extra time, because that's essentially time that you're spending in chase, is what that means. If you're spending seconds looking for the slug fucker, you can't find them. They're fucking splitting the map at the same time you're fucking doing this. And then the fucking guy, there's 2 gens, let the fucker burns his fucking shit because you can't find him. He burns the fucking thing, stands back up at full health. You know how much time you just lost? Terrible. So don't fucking bother. Don't fucking bother with looking for him. Next, they aren't on gens. If the Swift wants to conserve the perk, they need to pick the team up, which means they cannot use that second effect of a self-heal burns the perk, which if they want to keep using the flip-flop power struggle, fucking, especially if they're devoting 3 slots to it, the guy does not want to, a guy running flip-flop power struggle fucking plot twist does not want to burn plot twist. That's not what he's trying to do. If he burns plot twist, his other 2 perks don't do much for him, right? Then he's going to play with 1 perk. He doesn't want to do that. So he wants to keep plot twist in the game as much as possible. What that means is his team has to pick him up. That's what that means. A self-heal burns the perk that can negate entire fucking builds. Conserving the perk is a Swift secondary objective. If they want to conserve it, they have to get off the gens and fucking do it. So that means if one guy's fucking slugged, right, and he's across the map, in fact, he's across the fucking map, right? And then you find a teammate, like they're trying to do flip-flop power struggle shit, okay? So you're fucking, let's say you're fucking, I don't know, who's good, who's decent. Let's say you're Artist, okay? Let's say your name is Artist, and you down somebody at the pallet. They fucking go down, they're gonna use flip-flop power struggle, okay? There, two other guys are doing gens. You fucking throw birds out, and you actually catch the guy. You catch somebody with birds, okay? You fucking go, they're not too far from you. Maybe the gen's like 80% done. They're trying to get it, they're trying to force it, you're right there, okay? So the guy's got fucking, he peeled over dead at a pallet. You were looking for a teammate, you threw birds out, you found somebody, okay? You're gonna, and you decide, okay, I'm fucking Artist, I'm not a pushover, I'm a top 10 character easily, okay? I'm gonna go ahead, chase this fucker, and then somebody, if he wants to conserve his bullshit, if he wants to conserve his crap, his teammate has to come pick him up. That gets them off the fucking gens. You're getting free slowdown by the perk's existence if they want to conserve it. Now, obviously, if they want to burn it, then you get no slowdown, which probably in that situation, the Swift will fucking just burn the perk. They will burn the perk and then also take 2 gens, and that guy will get fully healed, right? That's what they'd probably do in that situation. But then that opens up slugging on that guy for the late game. That's what that means. That takes up our next thing, burn it. Swift isn't afraid to burn it when they need it. Keep track of who has used it and who may still have it. Okay, maybe only 2 fuckers have it. Maybe they only bring 2 copies of the fucking thing, right? You don't know if they, like, if the Swift is necessarily going to have 4 copies of it. So, like, definitely keep track of who has fucking used it in the Survive with Friends, because that, again, those are the people that are going to fucking abuse it. Who may still have it. Your pressure will force the team to burn the perk. When it's burned, that opens your slug game back up into the fucking late game on those that have it. Effective uses of your meta perks and your gem pressure and getting 3 gens will open up opportunities for you to get the fucking perk out of the game. Take them. Take them. And while we're on the topic of burning it, obviously it destroying Corrupt is the big. They can only blow up Corrupt Intervention at the very beginning of the game if they have No Mither too. They have to bring No Mither, and No Mither is going to telegraph to you what they're doing, because obviously anybody good that's bringing No Mither is running this too to blow up Corrupt. That's what he's there to do. That's his role in the fucking team. He's there to blow Corrupt up the second he sees it, okay? Now, the tricky thing about No Mither, this perk and No Mither are like partners. Like the tricky thing about No Mither is you cannot tell if the guy picked himself up, but it doesn't matter on No Mither anyway, because No Mither you can perma-pick yourself up. So there's that. Only No Mither early deletes Corrupt, okay? So if you injure somebody, and let's say you're Legion, you fucking stab somebody with Frenzy, the guy waits for you to leave, and then he fucking plops over because Optimal Legion still brings Corrupt because he has not, like, what are you gonna run, LP? Yeah, sure. So then the guy plops over and you lose Corrupt Intervention. Okay? That's what happens. But you're still Legion, right? You can still fucking use that time to fucking get some injures. Like, try to get enough pressure on the board early to fucking burn that shit. You need to burn it. Once you get rid of it, it opens slugging back up, right? So it's just something you kind of have to, like, burn. And it's like, you'll know whether if it's a slug play. Like, obviously, you're only going to fucking burn this shit. You're not slugging every game. If you have a good control over the match, or it's like, slugging's one of those things, you only do it when you're already winning or if you're, like, losing, right? It's like a weird place right now. You'll know when it's time to try to burn the perk or when it's time to take a hook. Just situational game awareness kind of stuff. But if you can burn it, right? Do not be afraid to fucking just get rid of the shit instead of fucking falling for their shenanigans. That's kind of what we're trying to do. Don't play into their hands. Next, number 8, the last tip I have for you is weather the early storm. The peak of this crap's usage is going to be as soon as it fucking drops. Everybody and their mother's brother is going to fucking try this shit when it comes out. So maybe throw on Deerstalker for a week or just some matches here and there to fucking see if it does anything for you. Remind these fuckers that if they plop over and kill themselves and they're trying to Iron Will hide you, you can pick their asses up and just throw them on a hook. Maybe take out Corrupt for Deerstalker for a little bit. Maybe take out a Deadlock for a Deerstalker and Corrupt to bait them into dying, and then, well, you don't really need that. Maybe take out a perk or two to see if you can get Deerstalker value, and then remind survivors that a check does exist for this fucking shit in the fucking game. But the thing is, if you can use the general good situational game awareness and these kind of tips and shit, you can outplay it on its release, and then people will throw it back in their box. That's the goal here. If they already don't think it's a meta perk. They don't think it's meta. They are convinced it's not that good. So Napoleon Bonaparte once said, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Never do that. If the fuckers think this perk isn't good, it's not our place to try to convince them it is. Fucking let it die a silent death. That's what I am never gonna try to fucking actively convince a survivor that Lucky Break is a good perk, because I don't want to see that shit. I know it's good. That's all I need. I know this perk is good, and I know Swift can do a lot of good shit with this. But they don't seem to think it's good. The vast majority thinks this is a meme perk. So let's keep it that way. Don't fucking fight with people. Don't convince them it is. Just fucking silently do everything in your power to outplay it on its release, make them throw it in their box, and never touch it. Turn this thing into the next fucking Lucky Break. A good perk that is unused. That's what we're going to do with this shit. You'll see it every once in a while and laugh at it. That's the goal here that we're trying to turn this shit into. Alright, lads, that's pretty much all I've got to say on this fucking crap. That's pretty much everything you can do as the fucking killer to fucking mitigate the impact of this shit. This is the brace for impact. If there's one general thing that encompasses most of this shit, it's don't fucking play into their hands. If they want you to do something, which is, well, I'm gonna go look for them, pick me up, flip-flop power struggle, like, don't put yourself in positions where if you don't get what you want, you're going to get a horrendous disadvantage. Chances are that is the incorrect play. That is the general, probably 10 out of 10 times. If you're thinking to yourself, if my play doesn't work here, I'm going to fucking get killed and I'm going to lose the game, chances are that's not the play you should be making. If the guy is slugged and you can't find him, leave. If they're trying to hit you with flip-flop power struggle at like a sweet tile and you pretty much know where your key gens are, leave the fucker. Take care of the gens. Those are more important, especially as hooks get worse, etc., etc. Alrighty, that's all I got to say, lads. I'm getting the hell out of here. GG's.